Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to the channel, The Mist of Social Anxiety and Depression. Today, quick video, just because I want to keep the momentum going and I want to start doing more videos as promised. So today, is a brief video. I want to talk about the topic of overreacting. So it's something recently that I have sort of been doing a lot of self-reflection on, and it's something that I think I have done a lot and I continue to do so. But in my self-reflection, I've come to the conclusion that it's something I need to start working on doing less and less. Um, so I'm aware that I do it, and I'm trying to do it less and less. Um, So I suppose being aware of doing something is kind of half the battle. So because then you can work on it, like, provided you want to change it, and it's something I want to change. So I think, yeah, to sort of stop overreacting about things big or things small. I think it's a really good area to work on in ourselves. So I've noted down some of the triggers here, for me anyway, that they can include. So they can include things like changes in prearranged plans. So like that could be like, oh, say you have agreed to go and do this activity on such a day at such a time, and for whatever reason planned activity or that planned thing, it changes, whether it be postponed or just be totally cancelled for whatever reason. I find that that's sort of really that's a cause of me overreacting, and I'll generally take it the wrong way that the plan has been changed and kind of blow it out of proportion. So another one for me would be a build up of things to do can cause me to be overwhelmed. Like, so say you have, I don't know, two or three things that you've been putting off, and then as you come to such a what I would call a quiet period in the week where you have time to do those two or three things, and you've sort of accepted that you need to get them done, and then all of a sudden seven more things come in on top of you. So there's 10 things to do then at that point. And I find when that happens, I get really overwhelmed, and I just kind of would almost stick my head in the sand and just act like the problems aren't there, or the things to do aren't there, or the challenges or whatever. But obviously that's not good for anyone. So I'm sort of hoping that by being self-reflective, I can get better at coping with build things. And another one thing would be things not being black and white. Work wise and mostly in day to day life wise, I like things to be very black and white. And obviously the world's not like that. There's all sorts of grey areas all over the shop. So I don't know. As someone who likes things to be black and white, I am sort of disturbed, or kind of I find it hard to understand when things aren't such a way. Um, I've That's just something I really struggle with, but I can see that in myself, and I'm trying to accept that there's more than one way that things are. So I suppose another things I'm doing or attempting to do to stop further overreacting personally, it's reflecting on past patterns of behavior and learning from it. So like looking at the way I may have overreacted, or not may, the way I did overreact in the past about certain events or certain things, and being able to see that that wasn't the right way to react um, is a good learning curve for me to sort of learn. And another thing would be learning to think before I react. Because it's very easy to just initially react to something. And honestly, I would say 9 times out of 10, that initial reaction is, in my opinion, the wrong reaction, and it's an overreaction, and it's something you would, or I have done, and probably still do to some extent, regret when I react too early, because it's not very thought out, and it's something I'd probably go on to regret having reacted that way. So another one would be trying not to take things personally. I mean, things change, things happen. Life can't be planned because it doesn't go. Life isn't like a plan. It doesn't go A B C D E F G. Sometimes it can skip. It can go forward two letters, if that makes sense, and then it could go back. But that's life, and just being able to accept that, I suppose, is something that is beneficial to do. So the last thing I've noted is trying not to over plan things to avoid disappointment. So it's like if I went to plan something to such a degree and then it doesn't go to plan in that way, by over planning, I've over amplified my disappointment. Like I've set myself up for like a calamity of disappointment. It's like an explosion. Whereas if I hadn't planned it to that extent, it would probably I wouldn't I wouldn't be as disappointed, or the disappointment wouldn't be amplified. Um, so yeah, thanks for listening. I will be back on with a new video shortly. Enjoy. Bye bye.